are your members?
No.
She's a child lunch.
Is there a?
I gave her the option. I said, do you want to come to the meeting or do you want to go to child lunch?
Is she sure?
My kids go
I know.
I go to
She
child.
doesn't want to be the youngest
Chris,
member
you didn't
of
just
the-
chain her up outside with a water
Sure,
bottle?
we should go to
No.
Craig.
Don't tell me.
Sorry.
Child lunch is so nice.
Oh, okay.
She, when I was on park board though, she like
But there's
would
no
refuse to
rules,
go and she would like want to sit
Merriam,
there
Merriam.
and I'm like,
Merriam
it's so
Park.
boring though.
Yeah, what's that?
I don't
But
know,
it's
so
with
we
you.
live in the
She's
middle
getting older and more,
corner
you know,
of
outgoing.
Merriam,
Yeah.
and so my kids
Stacy, you
go
guys.
to lunch Shawnee at
Thank you.
It's hot out there tonight.
It is.
Okay.
I'm gonna call this meeting to order officially.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Roll call, everyone's here? That's here?
Yeah.
First action, approval of minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the minutes?
Move to approve.
All right, so seconded, everyone, in favor?
Aye.
All right, am I moving too quick?
No?
Oh,
I got it.
I think we have a number of, updates. In fact, let's see, consider approval of the minutes, we did that. Merriam Grand Station Public Art will be our first update.
So, the developers of Merriam Grand Station provided their rendering of this work of art, and it's glass and steel, I think, if I remember correctly. And it will be placed, I don't know how familiar you guys are with that development, but there's 2 apartment buildings, 2 restaurants, and then the space in between those restaurants, so, according to this rendering, it's covering.
Are we looking, which direction are we looking?
I believe we're looking south.
We're looking south, okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to see from the street.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so that's like, so there's some parking back there and then like the parking structure kind of connects back there.
Oh, yeah.
Behind it. The apartments outside.
What are the restaurants gonna be?
One is gonna, sorry, do you
Um,
want me to
You
answer?
can go for it, yeah. You might remember better than I.
One will be a homegrown, which is like a brunch lunch place that's local to Wichita, so, there's one in Brookside. And then, their other one is going to be I can't remember the name, but it's like a craft beer / restaurant,
Like hot.
Hop 30?
yes,
Yeah.
thank you, and it's from like I think Iowa area,
Des Moines.
Yeah.
so, yeah. And I think that's it, right? And there's-
I'm not sure if that's what those 2 are.
I think that's it,
The
yes.
site is. has
Starbucks.
a couple others.
Oh, and then up front, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Starbucks, Kava, and then I don't remember what else,
Maybe Bibimbap?
maybe,
Yeah, but I didn't know if that was set in stone yet.
Kava and Starbucks are,
They haven't officially put it on their website for Bibimbap, but.
yeah, but they typically go by Kava.
Oh.
And there's another,
I think
like,
they're friends.
those 2 restaurants are also in another drink development in Lake Summit, so I assume,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not for the record, but I'm assuming that's what it is.
I'm eager to hear from every member of the committee, just what their views are, or / appreciation, critique of this work. Let's start with our chair.
Thank you. So, I take the position that I would normally take, which is, I'm just glad they're doing something, but it is not my favorite piece. I don't love it, but, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, you guys know my opinion well, I think, because I'm pretty vocal, is that whether I hate it or love it, I'm glad to have it. If it sparks a conversation, whether that be love, hate, wrangling on the floor, whether it be any of those things, from my personal perspective, I like that alone. Whether I like it personally, it's kind of like my politics, that's up to me.
Are you wanting everyone's opinion better than mine?
What about Laura?
Yes, of course.
Oh, I don't.
You don't care?
I kinda echo you, like,
Yeah.
glad it's there.
Yeah, I would agree, I mean, I'm glad that we're having art there, I would not have selected this. I also, if I was on the selection committee, I don't know if in a public space, even though it's a private public space, would put something that was glass.
Yes, I did have.
I'd like to know the backstory, cause to me it looks like it has something to do with fire and ice and.
Didn't we get it?
Yeah, it has a description.
Oh,
and they-
how did I miss that?
It was
Okay.
born out of, their idea of prairie fires.
Okay, I totally missed that, I apologize.
It's a stretch, but.
I also think it looks like a pineapple, which is associated with life. Yeah.
I also asked Chris about it being glass and how nerve-wracking that is for public space. And so he said he also questioned them about that, and they reassured him that it is tempered glass and it is very sturdy and it's protected from the
Oh.
elements.
Is it protected from people? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's made out of the same stuff as our measuring cup, our
Maybe.
Pyrex.
Pyrex, maybe it's Pyrex.
Well, tempered glass will not break into shards.
It'll shatter.
In case nobody doesn't know,
Yeah.
it will not, it will shatter into,
Yeah.
into like pebbles.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. I liked the backstory on it better than necessarily the rendering, but yeah, I agree with Sean, like, I don't love placing my hard opinion on things, it's like, no, it's my opinion, man, you know? I think a lot of people will enjoy it, but I don't think it super matters whether I love it or not. But I have a neighbor that's a glass blower in Merriam, and so I was surprised he wasn't to do it. Although maybe he's not a fan of Merriam, working with Merriam, who knows, but.
The only reason I'm interjecting is because I did suggest to the developer that they do reach out to local individuals and or our committee if they wanted any help and assistance in choosing the artwork for those facilities. And they said, well, we will look into thinking about that.
Oh, I will look into thinking
In
about
planning
it.
commission, I, in official meeting minutes, did recommend that opportunity to them. But again, they're a private property owner, they have every right to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give my opinion, but like, just 2 seconds. Leopold is at least a local gallery and the artist, excuse me, is at least local to Kansas City. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's that component, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the title?
I didn't see one, now that you asked that.
Yeah.
I did not
I
see
don't know
one.
if, yeah, does it?
Paul likes to give his resume for everything.
Yeah.
But, he sent me a printed copy at my office as well for another project.
Oh, now's the time to do that.
Oh, there we go. Can't remember if that was in an email.
Jan, what do you think?
I thought they were local people, I mean, it's Brookside, isn't it? Where
Yeah,
the-
they're local.
And it's color, and it's, you know, I think it's okay.
Good.
Do I love it? It doesn't matter. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do about it, is there?
Nope.
Our opinion really
Right,
doesn't
right.
matter.
No.
It's still glass. I think
Pardon?
it's still glass, that's all I'm saying. There's
Do you have
plenty.
something against glass?
No, not at all. Just appreciating its inherent characteristics.
Gary?
Well, I've known Tyler Kimball since he's been about that big. And it's very much like, I don't know if you can see this is a piece that he did at the Olathe Library, so it's sort of,
I
it's a
knew it
little
looked familiar.
derivative. Huh?
I knew it looked familiar, and the name
Yeah,
sounded familiar.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting if he sunlighted it.
Pardon?
If it's always in shadow like they show,
Oh,
I don't think it would be as interesting, but I think then it might be nice when light gets.
Well, they show it well lit, even though it's in shadow.
Yeah, yeah, right, yeah, yeah.
It's hard to match renderings with other rendering.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's hard to match renderings with someone else's rendering.
I know. I know. As a graphic designer.
As a.
Got the Photoshop skills, you can work the lighting.
Yeah.
So it fit in.
It's just floating there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did they have dimensions, I don't remember, do they have dimensions on that?
I think
yeah, they
the
did, I saw it.
pedestal is 4 feet and then the glass above it was maybe like 10 feet?
So it would really, the glass will really be within so much reach.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, okay.
Not tiny humans though.
Approximately 10 feet
Not
tall on
tiny.
top of the 4 foot
Perfect.
pedestal.
Perfect.
They don't stay tiny, that's the problem.
Well, I know, but at least not like a two.
Oh, with uplighting, it will have uplighting.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think, Julie?
Well, I'm not a fan, but I'm just glad it's not Christian Gateway. I mean, it could be worse.
You mean that it's actually being
So
done?
much worse.
Being done,
Yeah.
Hey, if you
so-
set the bar enough, you know.
Michigan
everything's
Gateway has
good.
sort of a dystopian appeal, though, doesn't it?
I know, it's.
Like a ruin
Huh?
It's
for.
sort of Miss Havisham brulism.
No, I like this shape better than the Olathe shape.
Then this one.
The bottle brush.
The bottle brush, yeah.
That one looks really tall. Is it?
Yeah,
really,
I don't know,
really tall?
it doesn't say, it. This is from Tyler's website, from Monarch Glass website. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's called Perry Craig brush, so just, that one is called Perry Craig brush.
Very what?
The one in Olathe is
Oh,
called
Perry.
Perry Craig brush.
And that one's not even like protected from the elements, so it's probably gonna be fine.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Outdoors, often inspired by the prairie.
Yeah.
I'd rather have no art than bad art.
Oh.
And I don't think this is so great. I'd like to keep the city's name off it. And allow it to be its own thing, and it's not public art in our city, it's private art in a private space. I don't think it's interesting enough to hate. It's really typical of this dealer and the kind of neutral, sterile, decorative objects that he just likes to place around. And I have encouraged any public art commission that I've ever been involved with not to get engaged with Paul Terrell because of the way he works with his stable and his inventory. Good for them, and he's succeeding, so good for him, and this artist is selling her work, so good for him. It is exactly the kind of work I don't want to see this committee commissioning and approving on my own part. I'm just one voice, but it's just the kind of generic from the public art catalog that you can order and have it shipped overnight and get it installed.
Definitely a missed opportunity.
Could they have done
On their part,
anything they wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
just its
From a-
private,
Yeah.
so they could have done
So from the city council perspective, in the RDA that we created with Drake Development, the redevelopment agreement, we stipulated that they had to have public art somewhere on the property.
okay.
And we can't really tell them
Yeah.
what, or how much to
Mhm.
spend on it, or anything like that, because we don't have an ordinance, but, we said that that was something that we needed to have, so.
But architects and developers love working with someone like Paul because it's a one-stop shop. You'll get some inoffensive gewgaw and jab it out there and nobody will complain and they don't have to think about it. Architects and developers love someone like Paul because he doesn't challenge their aesthetic or their.
I think the biggest thing out of this is that it helps us start a conversation about how we talk about art, what we think about art, how we want to, how we as a committee want to steer ourselves in what we're looking for and what we want. understanding each other's perspectives. I think that's pretty important.
I don't know anything else about this, and this other stuff is really great.
Yeah, I think Tyler's just better being with, but we don't specify.
Older
Yeah.
person is,
Huh?
how old a person is he?
Tyler, he's in his 40s.
Okay, so not an emerging professional.
No, he's studied in Seattle. He, has a really nice studio, if you've ever been there, on our class studio down, Tremendo.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you for allowing me.
Create some sort of concise statement from that to share back with them.
An official.
Okay.
Anything else from the public Grand Station, public art? From anyone or you? No? Okay. I'm gonna move on.
Okay, up next, city updates. There's a handful of things going on related to public art that I just wanted you guys to hear about. On Monday, City Council approved funding for a sponsorship of Parade of Hearts. It's coming from the Transient Guest Tax Fund as part of a tourism campaign. So we will have a heart at the marketplace that which isn't officially gonna be, we don't know what is going there, until Saturday. I think Saturday's the big public event unveiling of all of the hearts, so, yes, but we did get to choose the one that's going at the marketplace, and it's kind of strawberry themed, so, that's happening, and it's gonna be a fun thing that the marketing and, tourism staff members are working on building other I Heart Merriam campaigns around, so that theme is gonna be going strong for the next year or so, all the way through next year, which I'm gonna jump to the bottom of my list there, which is Merriam's 75th birthday is next year. So, related to this, it came up that Leewood just did some big sculpture for their 75th anniversary. If you have not read about it, it's a whole thing. So I said I would share that with you all. If it's something you want to consider doing something for the 75th birthday, that's next year.
The Leeward one was a humbling mess though, right?
Yes, it has been
So
a
maybe if we
long,
do it, like,
drawn
let's
out
not make it
process
that.
that has had a lot of extra expenses to
You-
it, according to the
Which
County
one?
Mission
We
don't
Business
mind
article that I
really
read.
No,
No,
but
birthday.
it's
I don't know.
the
what-
guy from Tulane. Are we
His
talking
name
about
is-
down
is,
Williamson?
Yeah. Or something like that.
Nimitov.
Huh?
Nimitov.
Nimitov, yeah.
William.
Uh-huh.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I don't remember the artist's name, but
Yeah.
I do remember that the transportation cost was part of it and
Oh,
getting
yeah.
it here from down there.
Yeah, from New Orleans.
Yeah,
Wow.
so, yeah, for your consideration, there's gonna be a lot of I Love Merriam things happening over the next 2 years.
Mhm.
Mr. Chair, can we keep 75th anniversary on our agenda for our meetings for the near future,
I think
just so
it's-
we don't lose track of that, and if it's
That's a
something
great
that
idea.
everyone wants to engage in, then we can get ahead of it.
Okay.
What's the actual date? Do we have an actual date?
We do, we finally found our birthday paperwork. I think it's October 23rd.
Huh, interesting.
Sure.
You're a Scorpio.
Fall birthday.
Chris.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, I have really much things happening on the calendar right
It
now.
does, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, anyways, I'm pretty sure it's October 23rd or 21st.
October 28th is what, it's what Wikipedia says. I could be wrong, I'm just.
I clicked too many times.
That's easy.
Wikipedia to
Not
college
quoting it.
professor.
Oh,
23rd.
perfect.
Wikipedia didn't really exist when I was in college. 23rd, okay.
It is the 23rd.
We'll have
I
to.
found the paperwork.
Stacy, go in there.
It's legit.
And it
Just
says
say
here
you
it
need to
is.
go ahead.
Wikipedia is
Yeah,
not a
edit
reliable
Wikipedia.
source.
I have a really shoddily scanned copy from 75 years ago. The other things I was gonna mention is Karen, our Visitors Bureau Director, Karen Crane. She currently has a history tour on this app called PhotoCast. That app is also very popular for doing art tours, so that's in her budget and in her plans for sometime in the next year. She's going to put public art in Merriam onto the PhotoCast app.
Can we make sure that she knows about the Arts Council of Johnson County's inventory of public art in Johnson County, and its write-ups of that, there may be a resource.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
I kind of thought,
This is me struggling with my lack of sleep today.
Arts Council of Johnson County, and she can just reach out
PhotoCast is
to,
a talking thing.
Sarah.
Oh, so like you travel around and then.
You can drive around and then
Okay.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Okay,
it's
perfect.
I think we have
auto
one.
tour.
There's something else in Merriam.
there's something in Waterfall Park that there's like a, yeah, there's a, QR code that you can scan as part of the tour, and I thought that was,
I don't know what that is.
I actually thought the art was on that, cause I think it's near the,
We have a historic tour. Yeah, we have a Merriam historic tour that's on the podcast.
Oh, yes. Where is it? So,
Prairie Village has an art walk on it.
yeah, there's a bunch of cities around here. The nice thing about this app is it like pulls up what's around you, so you don't have to like specifically be looking for Miriam's public art tour.
Yeah.
I just got an error. Okay, so that's happening. Now you guys know. Make Music Day is a international day. I need to pull this up. International Day of Music.
You like that? That's not mine.
I typed it wrong. I can't see well enough. Make Music Day. And the community center is a host site for it, so people can apply to perform here, register as a performer, and request that they play here at the community center between 1 and 5:30 p.m. I think they have other scheduled acts after 5:30 p.m. So it's June 21st. So I just wanted you guys to be aware in case you know of
A good place
local
to showcase
musicians.
your Tibetan throat singing.
Yes.
Number 5.
Yep. So it's on the website. Invite your musician friends to apply. I think that was it for my city updates. Okay.
Yes.
I have a city update to add. You may or may not be aware that the Walker School was recently added to the Kansas Register of Historic, or the Register of Kansas Historic Places. And, they're aiming for the National Register. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but, it is an opportunity for diverse engagement, with the community that may or may not be part of Main Street Merriam, and a way to celebrate, that, cultural heritage, with the work of this group. So, they have some very specific and fancy architectural plans. And,
From multi-studio.
yep, and, you know, very ambitious, which I think is great, and a nice opportunity to do something out of the ordinary, for our community, if, once we're ready to go. It's a public place which has some resonance, and maybe 75th anniversary, I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it like a renovation for this thing, or?
Yeah.
He wants to, the current pastor, at the church, at this former school, would really like to make it a community center. And it's very architect-driven at this point, I don't know if you would agree.
We were sent the plans, but like city council was sent the renderings for fundraising basically, but they're wanting to remodel a portion of it and add on, and then create like an exhibit to,
In a plaza.
and like a courtyard kind of thing, yeah, and like to create an exhibition where they can honor and show off Walker School, memorabilia, history, things like that, to honor the history of the space and get more people to understand how important that building is to, I mean, the country, not just the community, but.
And I know they're gonna be looking to Historical Society for Heritage Trust Fund, Preservation Grant,
So they were
and
applying for a
maybe
bunch of
tax
grants,
credits, so. And who knows, where that will land, but, these are people who have got it together, they had some plans, and they are looking for resources, so.
And the Walker's School right now is a church, an
It's
active
the
church.
Philadelphia Missionary
Yeah.
Baptist Church, and so that's who's doing all of this,
Okay.
is the church, the pastor,
Okay.
and some of the congregation. I don't think it's just the pastor, but one of the congregants is doing, he's the one that got it on the register, and I don't know where I read that, if I got it in an admin report, or if
I
it
think
was.
it was in that,
Okay.
because I saw it
I was
too.
like, I feel like I read it somewhere else too, like publicly, but anyway.
So do they plan to like continue being church?
Yeah.
But they want part of it to be, well, they want churches to be a public space anyways, but they want part of it to be more of like a history lesson.
Yeah.
Museum.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that as an opportunity for us to participate. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Okay. Cool. I have one city, or one update as well.
Okay.
That Brian gave me permission to bring up. Something to think, and it's strictly, something to think about. We've been pushing very hard, and I bring it up in every committee meeting with the developers of Grand Station, of putting a bridge, a walking bridge of some kind over Shawnee Mission Parkway. The biggest hurdle is the state of Kansas, because it's a state highway. So it is something that they're open to the idea. I still wanna call them DDR, even though they're not anymore.
Drake,
Yeah.
they were never DDR.
Yeah.
No, that's site.
Huh?
They're now called site.
I thought Drake bought DDR.
I don't think so. I think it's still site. Cause they
Okay.
own like PIP or whatever.
I have false information.
I could be wrong also. You're wrong, but I'm pretty sure Drake is like a new baby developer.
Okay, we'll have that conversation
Yeah.
later. So, we're throwing around ideas and opportunities after that, or during that, or part of that. We're talking about, items that can have a large impact on coming into the city. Obviously, that's a pretty doggone big opportunity for what people see as they come into the city. There are a lot of hurdles there, but I just, wanted to at least have it in your guys' brain as something that we should definitely have our input into, if possible, in any way, shape, or form, because of the aesthetic potential or lack of potential if it isn't executed in a way that isn't just a concrete bridge over the highway.
What, tunnel?
Tunnel, we've already investigated that, and that's totally out.
We're undergrounding all the utilities, and I think it'd just be a nightmare, and I also think with how.
Less of a nightmare than going over.
But I also think with the length of it, I think it becomes a safety issue.
And the state made it pretty clear that that was not even remotely an option, according to Brian.
I didn't actually get in specifics with them when we started doing all this development and we started talking about undergrounding. I just flippantly mentioned it'd be awesome to have a pedestrian bridge over Shawnee Mission Parkway, so people could see the development and have a safer way of travel. But it never went beyond that. So I'm glad you brought it up.
I
again.
brought it up now in a total of 6 planning commission meetings. So.
It's a good idea. It is.
The execution will be extremely challenging to do in a way that makes sense.
Where
So-
would it be?
But we don't
Good
know.
question.
There was, at one
Part of the
point, there was a walkway.
Over
Across
I-35.
I-35, that's
Yeah.
correct, yeah. That's been part of one of those conversations.
And I don't even remember
So
where
right
it was.
behind, right behind
Still
Home
walk
Depot,
that, even though
it went
Used to
straight
be a
across the
neighborhood.
highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all neighborhood, and that went straight over down into,
Merriam School,
Yeah,
kind of right
well,
there.
the
Yeah.
really, it went across I-35,
Mhm.
down along Merriam Drive.
uh-huh.
Down to the old community center, which used
Yeah.
to be the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So, spent a lot of time on that.
Near you.
Yes. So, it could go nowhere, but I at least wanted to have it in your guys' brains, that's all. Okay.
I had, well, and I said something to Lauren the other day. I was reading an obituary in the New York Times about this artist, Michael Singer, who I was unaware of. But one of the things he did was he designed flood walls for Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they were beautiful.
That's awesome.
So I think that's something we need to keep in mind if, and that's a big if the Corps of Engineers ever comes up with that, we should really think of ways to make the flood walls
So your
interesting,
structure doesn't
instead
have
of
to be
just slabs of
active.
concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has them stepped back, there's plantings in them, there's all
It's really
kinds of
pretty.
pictures, huh?
It's really
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
Grand Rapids is gorgeous, like they're,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any other
That project is
city
Huh?
update?
very slow, by the way.
Yeah, well,
The
you know.
Corps is
Huh?
experiencing some staffing issues, so
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes. delayed once again.
Well, I think I've told you before, when I first started on the drainage board in 2004, it was right around the corner that they were gonna.
the last plan,
Huh?
the
Huh?
last plan was done in 2003, and they told us like how much it was going to be, and then it went dormant for 20 years.
The Merriam history book has a newspaper article
Yeah.
from 1999 talking about how this is happening soon.
Yeah.
Yes, it does, I do, yeah, I remember that, I have that.
Oh, cool.
No more items in terms of update, correct, anyone? Okay, let's move to Public Art Committee, new member recruitment.
So far, we have 7 applicants for joining the committee, and I've asked for all interested applicants to apply by May 1st, so.
And I forwarded the email that you sent me to Lauren from, I can't remember the names of the 2 individuals, but I forwarded those to her and the mayor, so.
I don't
But
know.
they still would
yeah,
need to fill
but there
in.
wasn't any sort of contact
Yeah, there's no
information, so
contact
if-
info, so if you can talk to them and tell them to go to the
Yes.
city website
I
and
did,
apply.
I
Okay,
did, both
okay.
of them.
Okay.
I think one of them lives near you,
My
right?
neighbor, yeah.
And,
3 doors down.
and she's really interested and she's working on the application but
Okay.
hasn't done it yet.
Okay,
And the other one lives near me and she's figuring out childcare,
sure.
so,
Sure.
yeah.
What, so what's
I know, I thought about it, is that open?
Yeah, that's where Clara is right now.
It depends on how old your kids are though, cause my kids
It's,
were
her
like-
daughter is the same age as my
The
daughter.
same,
okay.
it's the same age.
They're in the same class.
You mean you drop her off there?
Yeah, she's in there right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I can't see back there, but yeah, they're tucked back in there.
And it's fun,
We
right?
like the children.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing interesting things like washing dishes.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Washing
sweeping the
down the
floors.
Very
Um,
useful.
You don't let them go down to the
Cleaning
pool,
girls'
but,
Yes.
it's, yeah, it's like, I don't remember how much it is, but
Well,
it's.
how many members are we considering adding? Is that been
2.
established? 2? That's
Yeah.
been established as 2, okay.
Yep, so we can keep an odd number.
So how many people have actually filled out the,
7.
Seven.
Mhm.
So how will the process work? Will we review them, but it's up to the mayor?
I will work with the mayor on reviewing all the applicants and figuring out what works, what's the best fit.
And you're just really interested in moving
And-
out
and
of
with
Ward
Sean, sorry.
4, right?
Huh?
We're trying to get, various wards represented.
Yes, that would be
Yes.
lovely.
Yes.
Or some sort
Everyone,
of
I know
Big
that's.
goal.
diversity to the committee.
At least more than one.
Yes.
Well, that's
Ward 4.
Huh?
Ward 4.
Am I Ward 4?
No.
No, you wouldn't be, where you are, you, or by Shawnee. No.
what ward are you?
I
Am
don't
Ward
know,
4?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like southwest, far corner.
We're 2.
Oh, okay.
Remember that. Stacy, you're 4, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Everyone at this table is except for Jason and Troy.
okay.
Ooh, what are you? Ooh.
Number 1.
Everyone in this room is except for Jason.
Oh, weird, I had no idea where.
Mhm.
Yep.
Huh.
Okay,
So that's in motion.
Yep, it's going.
Any other comments, thoughts on that at all? Moving on, okay. Now to the big one. Public art master plan draft discussion. Yeah, Christopher and Julie, would you like to?
It may not be a very long conversation, I'm not sure that it needs to be.
Yeah.
Julia had performed a lot of the work that we might have expected she would have performed on filling in gaps and beating out various items. We walked through and came up with just a list of mostly informational questions, a couple of structural questions. We didn't really get into the structure because we all agreed we want to work on content.
Yeah.
Julia addressed most of our questions with Julie. And then I had some homework to try to find a couple of policy templates because interestingly, and I hadn't thought of this, I'm glad that Julia did, we need loan and gift policies. We don't need those documents yet because those documents are contracts and those will have to go for legal review and yada, yada, yada. And the language will probably have to be reviewed by legal anyway, since it's a city thing. But if we're gonna borrow things for exhibits, or loan things to other communities, or accept gifts or not accept gifts, then we need some language around that. And I found some good ones from the Metropolitan Museum. Our own Merriam Community Center has some loan language that they already use, so it might be wise for us to include that in our mix. And the Johnson County Museum has a pretty interesting gift policy. What it becomes is a statement of collection development, which is what our whole master plan is. So we need it to be internally resonant. And I have a pile of those things, and I don't want to give them to Julia unfiltered.
Probably smart.
So I wanted to spend a minute with it. She responded to us and is ready for another conversation with us about what the next steps are, because she's this close, I think,
Okay.
to fleshing it out and then getting some meat onto some good bones.
Okay.
And she was supposed to have rotator cuff surgery, but they numbed down the wrong arm.
Oh my God.
She didn't write on her own.
Oh,
Always right on.
Circle this one.
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
She's able, she's not like recovering from anything, so she's able to work, so,
Because it takes forever to reschedule.
yeah,
Wow.
They marked on my back with like a Sharpie whenever I had surgery.
really.
Yeah, to make sure it was the right side.
Yeah.
That's standard
Yeah.
practice.
I've heard sometimes you have to sign it
Uh-huh.
too. before
Yeah,
you-
no, they did. They made me before they put me in.
Wow.
Sorry. Personal
Okay.
information.
No, too many different people involved in the process.
So,
I feel good about it. We're gonna have another conversation.
Okay. Do you know when
Before
you
we
guys-
talk to Julia, no, we don't, because I've been
Okay.
out of commission for
Okay.
2 days, so
Understood.
I'm okay.
after Saturday.
I was gonna
But,
say,
after
you're kind of busy.
Probably a fun update by our next meeting, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, I think we'll be well on our way to a good draft. of it.
Okay.
Is your garden on the tour?
Andrews.
Do we have a next deadline for her to try to?
That's what
That's what we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Christopher
How do you
did
get the
invite.
tickets?
Huh?
How do you get
Oh, you don't need tickets. Because we can
Well,
invite
that's
anybody
a-
we want.
You're our neighbors.
We can invite anybody we want.
Yeah.
And so we live at 5546 Goodman, if you want to stop by. Any.
I just go over there whenever I want.
Yeah. Right. Only when we're not home,
Pretty
of course.
much.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it was.
Well, no, because Wendy was
Tramping
over there
around.
one night and I was like,
Right.
I'm gonna go walk through the garden because I didn't
It's
know.
just
Shoveling things out, carrying off
Decided
cuttings.
something.
Yeah.
It says 41.
What
It's
do
just-
I?
it's
Yeah,
about
really,
46.
Divide.
Yeah.
Bring your trowel, there's
Yeah.
plenty.
Good.
I've been doing a ton of that.
Well, that's all very positive. I'm glad your guys said it. We had suspicioned that she would be very, ready for that conversation, so that was reassuring that she was. I think makes us feel better about our choices. I think that's the last item on the official agenda. Is there any other items that someone needs to bring up?
It makes it look like Jason and I are married because she put Susie Shibata Silvers as my name.
Oh.
In the like first page, where all of our names are for the committee.
Like on the minutes?
No, in the public
Is
art
there something we
master
need to
plan.
know?
Oh, and this draft.
Yeah.
I need to know if she's gonna take it out.
A copy of it has not been
I was
forged
thinking
on
about
this
it.
document.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, okay.
Did she spell your name right this time, Sean? Yep.
Oh, good.
That's what you
My name was spelled right, just another name was
I
added.
forgot to even look
Did
this
she
up.
hyphenate it?
No. Mm-mm.
Are you okay with that?
Congrats.
This is all one word.
We should
Capital letter in the middle.
discuss this.
It was just, I just
Should've
was
been
like,
branded.
that's funny. Anyway,
Okay,
sorry.
I think that was the last item, so if there's nothing else to discuss, then I would take an adjournment.
So moved.
All right, so moved.
Great, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jim. Great.
Yes,
Hey, Jerry,
Yeah.
you were on the drainage board, right?
yes,
Did you know Floyd Tinsley?
yes, I did,
Okay.
yeah.
I grew up with Floyd. Yeah, I miss him a lot.
Do you? Yeah.
He was on with our Boy Scout troop and.
Oh, yeah, I
stuff
know,
like
he did a
that,
lot of
so,
stuff, yeah, yeah.
He was a character.
He was a character.
Yeah, no
He was a
doubt
character,
about it, yeah.
He, he did like dead tree sculptures, did you know that?
Oh, yeah,
And,
Usually.
he was getting up there, and I was
I'll look at my
driving down
calendar.
Shawnee Mission Parkway,
The second Thursday of
near
May,
Mission Road.
whatever that
Uh-huh.
is.
And I looked over and there was
May day.
Floyd,
Yeah, I
Six,
can't
okay.
be
and
in
it
the
was
next meeting.
just a stinking
I
hot
got
day.
concert tickets.
And I saw him, he was trying to walk down his ladder and stuff, so I stopped
That's
and helped him.
beauty and
And,
the
oh, I thought he was gonna die right there on the
That's
spot.
fine.
Yeah.
I helped him load all
I
his
think he
stuff.
would
I
have
know, you
preferred
too.
to die right there on the
Yeah.
spot.
Right, I helped him load all his
Yeah.
stuff into his truck and stuff, and I thought, oh, he was just like,
You know how close
He
you
was
are
just
to your neighbor?
more than two
Maybe?
I'm glad you got to know
Yeah,
Floyd.
yeah, he was a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you've seen them both.
He's been gone for a
Okay.
while.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
That's
afraid.
crazy.
Bonnie's still going, his wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's 99.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he did a lot of great things, he did like children, just kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was heavily involved in our church,
on
Boy
that.
Scouts, everything, yeah,
Yeah.
teaching people wood carving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
that's right.
Great.
Goofy.
I think it's.
It was goofy.
Is that okay?
But,
Well, so we're
it
like.
was